since the Hulkster's passing here, there's been a lot of things that have been, occurring that he had his toes dipped in a little bit, and one of them just so happens to be Real American Freestyle. So we're going to talk a little bit about some ticket sales and promotion. So we got the date and the time is going to be Saturday, August 30th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The venue, well, that's the Wolstein Center at CSU in Cleveland, Ohio. The tickets distributed so far is a 1907, so they've gained 128 in the past week, so it doesn't seem like a lot of demand, but that's more than you'd expect. But this is the first event, and usually when tickets are that low at the first event, they would usually kind of go in this kind of direction. But yeah, their setup is for $27.92, so I guess overall that's not bad. And they have 885 left, and the cheapest tickets are $36.35. The total arena capacity is for 13,077. So they're going to have a large curtained off areas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess if they were doing better, they would open more up. But I'm sure that they were not expecting to do too great here. They got 16 days left to go as of this filming. And that kind of leads us into what we were talking about a little bit at the beginning, and that's Hulk Hogan's passing and its impact. So this show was clearly designed to ride on the patriotic wave of nostalgia, with Hulk Hogan's Real American legacy being part of the branding. Hogan's recent passing adds an unavoidable emotional layer to the event. On one hand, it might boost interest, fans wanting to honor the man whose theme defined an era, and on the other hand, there's a risk that it feels opportunistic if not handled carefully. WWE and the wider wrestling world have leaned heavily into Hogan tributes since his passing, and the same atmosphere may help this show capture additional attention. The fact that it's Real American Freestyle, not just a wrestling show, but positioned as a crossover cultural event, means that Hogan's aura is baked into the very identity of the promotion, whether planned or not. So Kurt Angle's at the desk at this event, and that's another notable name tied to this. So he's serving as one of the analysts for the program, and Angle brings in both Olympic credibility and WWE Hall of Fame in his repertoire, I guess. His presence ensures that the broadcast doesn't just feel like a nostalgia trip, but it has an air of legitimacy and authority. With Angle on board, fans know that they're getting more than just a sideshow. They're getting serious commentary from someone who's both wrestled and won on the world stage of both kind of these platforms and this new little thing that they're doing. So Eric Bischoff is behind this as well, and his vision behind the curtain remains laser focused on making the Real American Freestyle a success. For Bischoff, this isn't just another project, but it's a chance to prove that he can still shape the industry. He's clearly trying to position this as more than just a one-off, but a property with growth potential. Bischoff has always thrived when the stakes are high and the competition stiff, and this feels like one of those moments where he's putting his chips back on the table. So the overall outlook of this, with the 1907 tickets distributed, the show has gained some momentum, though it still has a way to go. The small-scale setup of $27.92 shows organizers are keeping expectations realistic, but the Wolstein Center's full capacity of over 13K looms in the background as a reminder for both potential and risk. The combination of Hogan's legacy, Kurt Angle's credibility, and Eric Bischoff's drive gives Real American Freestyle an intriguing identity. The next 16 days will determine if that intrigue translates into a hot crowd and, more importantly, a sustainable concept moving forward. We'll see. They're going to have a tough battle here. I know Bo Nichols signed to him. He wrestles in the UFC, so it's or not wrestles. He fights in the UFC. So it should be pretty interesting how legitimate this may or may not actually be if they're letting him do another combat sport, I guess if you call it that. But I wish nothing for the best of him. But my expectations aren't very high for this.
Yeah, I'm keeping my expectations fairly low. No offense to anybody involved.
Yeah.
It just,
And
it's
Hogan,
even when Hogan was still with us and was fully involved, my expectations were fairly
Absolutely.
low, and I think that his passing most likely will be a hindrance to this in the long term, more so, than them being able to generate a number off of the first episode, probably. Yeah.
it costs a lot of money
Well,
to get a filming crew and production and a live feed out to TV and streaming platforms and all that. So I don't know. Good luck.